What's going on, guys? Kupicon here, and I am playing, I don't even remember the game, Psycho-Pass Mandatory Happiness. That's what it is. And I believe this is the free game this month on the PSN network. Um, so I had already started recording, but didn't start recording my audio. So I've already played through part of this once, and I'm going to say the tutorial is super long, so this is probably going to be an hour-long video. But I am going to do 2 sessions of this, so both of the tutorial and non-tutorial stuff when we start diving into the game hopefully will be at around the same time, if not, if not a week, a few days of each other. It just kind of depends on how fast I can get these edited to a good quality and pushed out. So without further ado, one more time, let's dive right into the National Hospital in Tokyo. Far above the man-made dome of the once renowned Metro Paradise stood an ivory tower, and within this tower lied part of the city's core functions. And deep within it, he infiltrated the tower's core with ease. Could it have been any easier? The network firewall is paper thin. The security system door opened easier than a child's room. And this does have quite a bit, actually, of Japanese voice acting, so I can actually just, if you guys would prefer me not to read over the dialogue and just narrate it, I can. If not, let me know in the comments, and we'll go from there. He whispered to himself. He had avoided social interaction for so long that now he only spoke to himself. It should be somewhere in this tower. My new toy. Where have they hidden it? He searched. And searched. For his toy, which had to be somewhere. Found it. And I am gonna say I've seen the anime, so I know not quite a bit, but I know what kind of happens in it, and I kind of remember what happens. So if I talk about that, I'm just gonna put out for this whole series. This is going to be some spoilers, and it might spoil, or this game might spoil some of what happens in the show. I don't know how the storylines quite work yet. I hadn't gotten to that point. There it was, his toy, in the neurosurgery room, as written on the hospital map. It was the first time touching it, but only with a glance he knew. This doll was made for me. It had been a waste. It would have been a waste to lock it away in such a place. Come along with me. From now on, you shall move as my body. Let us depart. I have a mission to fulfill, a very important one for Mother. So this is like Avatar. Like, why did they have to make it so creepy? Like, it just seemed it just seemed weird the way he was phrasing, like, oh, I found this, like, naked avatar in this, like, operating room. Let's go. Like, why'd they have to make it weird? To bring happiness to everyone, that is my mission. And I'm definitely going to have to pause a lot to get water, because this is all dialogue. Isn't that right, Mother? So back in the character select screen, so just from what I know playing this, the little bit that I have accidentally, it seems like there are 2 different storylines, unless it's the same storyline that just swaps out characters. If you pick Takuma, he ends up as an enforcer, and he's like in this mental health hospital, and that's how his story starts. And I'm not sure if because she's an inspector then, and I'm not sure if they just switch or, again, if it's two different storylines. So that's something we'll have to play around with as we get to it. So we're just going to go through Takuma again and see what happens, because I'd really like to at least finish that story. Why had things turned out like this? And if you hear my girlfriend in the background, she's playing the Xbox free game of the month, which was iZombie, I think. But it's a horror game, so if you hear her scream, that's what that is. Damn it, let me out. Let me out of here. I have to. Why? Where did I go wrong? Such a futile question. I had been born and raised in a rural city far away from Tokyo. The Sibyl system judged humans, leading them to the path that maximized their future happiness. Education, marriage, employment, anything. The judgment that had been given to me was to live and die in that rural city. That was fine. It's not like I didn't like it there, but I did regret obeying Sibyl. Would it have been better to just go against Sibyl's judgment and seek employment in Tokyo after all? I knew it wasn't possible, but I couldn't help think about it. The world was a place where one couldn't get a job unless Sibyl deemed them suitable. Even if I went against it and came to Tokyo, the only thing I could have expected to happen was to fail finding a job and then become homeless. Which is really sad, and they do a really good job of addressing that in the anime. Like, what if there was a system like that? You know, we're already being monitored. Like, yeah, how likely is it? Like, what would happen? It was a really good question and a really good, subject to just sit and think on as you watched. It was really interesting. Then again, there was my childhood friend, Yukara. Unlike me, she had the aptitude to study medicine in Tokyo. Such different paths, but I loved her. And I'm going to say right now, I can pronounce about 4 of these names correctly. I gave up trying in the last, the failed recording of this, so, yeah, there's going to be a lot of skipping of names until I can figure out, or somebody can tell me how the hell to pronounce some of these, because they are very Japanese and very tough to pronounce, at least to me. I don't do well with names. So, Yukari, what are you up to right now? One day, Yukari just disappeared. It made no sense that she didn't contact her parents, or me. So I came to Tokyo searching for her, but she was nowhere to be found. The school she attended, the place she worked at, I looked everywhere, but nobody knew where she had gone. It was useless. Everyone just said the same thing I did. One day, Yukari just vanished out of thin air. Weird. So, I guess the goal of this game is to find Yukari and see what the hell happened. A resignation letter to her employer. That was the last time anyone heard from her. She never handed in her work or popped up out of the blue. As I searched for her, I became reckless. It wasn't long before my hue clouded and my crime coefficient rose. As a result, I became a latent criminal. I'm a fool. Such a damn fool. However, my chance at salvation appeared right before my eyes. Or did it? There it goes. Takuma? I'm... Damn it, I keep trying to catch his name and I can't pronounce it. Genoza? That's what we're gonna go with. From the MWPSB CID, so Sid. You have the aptitude to become an enforcer. Interested to work as one? Fuck yeah. That was my ticket out of hell. I jumped at the chance, and I've never looked back. So it seems like he's reflecting on this, so I wonder if at some point the story won't catch up to what he's actually doing right now. So the Public Safety Bureau. This is where I work now. Man, I'm so touched. I've always wanted to be a police detective. Police detective? You mean enforcer? Well, they're more or less the same thing, aren't they, Inspector? Both arrest criminals, right? Latent criminals, to be correct. Geez, how many times does it take for you to understand? Yeah. Latent criminals refer to those above certain crime coefficients, regardless of whether or not they've committed a crime or not, correct? So like I said, all of this is tutorial, all of this is just kind of explaining the story to you for people who haven't seen the anime, but it seems like at least this section of it is the same. This story, however, is not. At least not yet, so it might intersect at some point. And I'm just gonna throw a spoiler alert out. It can't happen afterward, I don't believe, because if I remember correctly, a lot of these people die at the end of the show. They possess the potential to cause harm to society. The goal of the CID is to apprehend and isolate them before that ever happens. Yeah, like how I used to be. But I was in a good mood, so I kept that thought to myself. Sure, I had dreamt of being a detective since I was a kid, but more importantly, if I was in the PSB, I knew I'd have a better chance at finding out more about Yukari's whereabouts. And for that reason, I was in pretty high spirits. Oh shit, I skipped over that one. Oops. Alright. Now I'm Matthew McConaughey. Get adjusted to how this enforcer device works. Mental care is important, so be sure to get used to using the hue checker. So this is the first item we get in the game, and it allows us to check our hue, which probably becomes pretty damn important after this fucking tutorial. And this thing is like half an hour long, at least. So part of me just wants to skip through it, but I know there's probably some important like story things, so on we go. It wasn't uncommon to find programs that could check your own hue, but the PSB's special model was quite unique. It's built into our wrist comms. Of course, it's not all fun and games. The fact that they issued such a device said a lot about the stress that came with being a detective. I would imagine it's pretty fucking stressful. Like, that's gotta be crazy. Mental care is a personal responsibility, so be diligent. Then he gave me a detailed tutorial about the device. He was really helpful. Okay, so here's a detailed tutorial about the device that keeps popping up in the corner. I checked my hue again. It was way better than before. It was like the first rays of sunlight on a clear morning. Apparently this color's called something orange. Again, saw that word twice now. Don't know how to pronounce it. Before it had the chance to worsen, detectives are required to take mental supplements. That's our duty to apprehend. That's our duty, apparently. Jesus, I'm thinking back to like 4 fucking slides ago. And any medication was paid for at the public's expense. But then again, I shouldn't need that anytime soon. So these guys have like the best fucking healthcare system ever. As we walked down the corridor, Genoza stopped the 3 ladies coming from the other direction. I thought the criminal investigation department was full of tough men, but right before me stood a variety of women, gorgeous, cool, and cute. Oh, Inspector, it seems there's a new sandwich place near the PSB. So we were all gonna go grab some lunch. Cleverly sneaking over names that I can't pronounce. So I believe both of these women were in the show. I've been wanting to eat there for a while, but it's not like we can leave the premises by ourselves, right? Yeah, so enforcers can't leave without like an inspector escorting them. So basically they're trapped in this fucking building. They can't leave, go anywhere. Like, it's really weird. It's like prison but not prison. It's prison with benefits. It's true that enforcers must be escorted by an inspector when they leave the premises. However, don't let yourself get too familiar with the enforcers. I happen to be leaving for lunch anyway, and having a meal with company tastes better than eating alone. I see. Oh, he likes her. I didn't think there was any need for him to make such a bitter face. By the way, who's that man over there? Oh, he's the newly assigned enforcer. Takuma, nice to meet you, ladies. Well, aren't you a fine-looking man? I'm the analyst. If you want to know more, just come over to the analysis lab anytime. Analysts examine and review data. That's a really weird sentence to say. Analysts examine and review data analysis from street scanners, determine victims' cause of death, and many other things. We work with her a lot. Keep that in mind. There's gotta be some weird dating attached to this. It just seems like there is. Alright, so she is another inspector, and the other woman is an enforcer, just like us. I see. Man, it puts me in really high spirits to work with such beautiful faces. That's really creepy. Way to make a first impression, dude. Stop saying stupid things and get a move on. And remember to return before lunch break ends. Dude, even he's like, just stop, dude. Just fucking let's go. Like, we don't have time for this shit. Oh yes, understood. We should get going. See you around. That's the extent of my voice acting. I'm not going to do any, like, I can't. This is the office of SIDS Division 1. We usually operate from here. So this place is... The office was less organized than I had expected. I wondered if everyone in here was an enforcer. They all seemed to be doing as they pleased. Well, we're about to find out, and luckily, we're doing this a little faster than the first time. My name's Takuma, and I've been assigned to the SIDS Division 1 as of today. I look forward to working with all of you. As I continued to bow, I noticed a middle-aged man who had the presence of a veteran detective stand up from the seat in the back. This dude was my favorite in the anime. He was just interesting. He was a really interesting character, and I hope they kept that in the game because it's the storyline and his interactions with the inspector. They're just really good. I don't want to spoil too much, just in case it happens in the game and it's the same. Their dynamic is the same, but yeah, I guess we'll find out. Just know it's awesome. So you're the new enforcer. Well, as you can see, so long as there's no trouble, we hunting dogs have it pretty good. Just take it easy. Take it easy, you say. And you are an enforcer, just like you. Kagari is over there, and Shinya is the closest one to you. Both of them are enforcers as well. Well, let's all get along as fellow enforcers. I noticed a stack of manga piled above Kagari's desk. Could it be? Wow, isn't that a vintage shonen manga? Oh man, I remember this cover. It was one of my favorites. And now let's have a really generic conversation. Excited I picked it up. I always thought I'd only be able to find these in museums, but never thought I'd actually see a real paperback up close, much less hold it. So they must not exist anymore. That must have been long gone, or it's all digital now. I mean, that could be. I think we're way far off in the future. What is this? Could it be that you're someone who knows your stuff? Yeah, I cried when he fell to his death as he fought the enemy. Takuma, was it? We've got much to talk about. I particularly like the part here when all the rivals banded together. Oh, I totally understand. I think I'm going to get along with you really well, Shu. You really know what's up if you read paperback manga. I love how that's like a bonding thing now. It's like, oh, I have this weird paperback book. Have you ever seen it? Nope, because I read on my tablet. I mean, we're kind of getting to that point already, aren't we? With like Kindles and whatnot. What's that? Are you just like Kaguri? Yeah, I like retro stuff, or rather just cool stuff like smoking and mahjong. It just feels manly, like part of a detective's repertoire. Sorry. Hey Pops, we got ourselves a sucker here. If you can play, then how about we have a game tonight then? It'll be a welcome party for the new guy. Sounds like a plan. I'd be happy to join. It's your own free will to have fun with your fellow enforcers, but take your job seriously. So I'm imagining we're going to have options later on to either work or hang out with them or go do things, and that's going to affect the hue. And if it gets too high, there's different endings maybe, or things happen and we can't do certain missions. We'll play around with it. Got it, but isn't that lunch break right now? Or isn't it lunch break? You need to always stop being so tense. A break is necessary every now and then. I have my regular mental therapy session to attend. Alright, so this is almost exactly where I got before I figured out that my audio wasn't recording. So we are back where it was, and I can't save right here, so I think we're just gonna have to play this whole thing out. Excuse me. We're gonna have to play this whole thing out and see where the save spots are. If you're looking for her, she went to water the flowers. I figure she'll be back soon. Watering flowers, it's work hours, you know. It's a euphemism for going to the restroom. That just gets me, like, he doesn't even understand that, which is, like, super weird. Ah, that's really misleading. If she went to the restroom, then just say she went to the restroom. Like, dude. Like, and he's all embarrassed. Like, why? Just... Due to our roles, there was a gap between inspectors and enforcers. But Genoza might be able to actually be quite fun. Then again, it was easier to be with the enforcers. So maybe that's an option too. We can either hang out with him and get to know him, or we can get to know them. And maybe that affects the outcome. I don't know. Like I said, I know nothing about this game. As I thought about such things, a woman entered the office. Sorry if you were looking for me. Who is that over there? Takuma, a new enforcer who was assigned today. Yeah, meet this other inspector. She's newly assigned, as well as your superior. So that's what I'm talking about. So this is the other playable character, and I'm wondering if hers is different. Like maybe she has a different objective, and comes into the story later, or if they just swap names and then she becomes an enforcer looking for her friend or husband or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea. Nice to meet you. When I peered into this woman's cold eyes, I felt a sudden tightness in my heart for some reason. My job is to utilize and monitor you. I see no need to get all friendly, Jesus lady, but I expect the minimal level of cooperation and subordination from you that will be necessary for work. You got it. Okay. She's gotta lighten up a little bit. A stern voice and irrational speaking pattern. That was totally different from her appearance, but that presence of hers reminded me of Yukari. Weird. Enforcer, did you hear me? Yeah, sorry, I heard you. It's just that you really remind me of an old friend, so I was a little surprised. My sincere apologies, but I have never heard of your name until just now. As such, I believe the possibility that you and I were acquaintances is near zero. Jesus, lady. Like, She fucking cuts through all the small talk, doesn't she? Fucking Christ. No, I understand. Plus, you look totally different from her anyway. Like, even then, her indifference and calculative reasoning reminded me strongly of Yukari, and I felt my chest ache. Aww. It's really sad. However, I didn't let this sentimentality overtake me. I had decided to find Yukari, and I wasn't about to let this woman stop me. Interesting. So, are we going to face some opposition if we try and check into things? Like, do we need to be sneaky about it? Looking forward to working with you. From now on, we're detectives till the very end. Wait for me, Yukari. I will definitely find you, no matter where you may be. I have a feeling that you won't, my friend. It's just sinking, but I have a feeling. The first mission came quickly. Cool, so we're already on our first mission. So this seems like the most logical place to cut. I'm going to keep on recording for a different session. And like I said, I'm going to try and get these videos out pretty close together so you guys don't have to wait like, oh, that sucks. That was just a tutorial and you met everybody. Let's actually get into some gameplay next time on Psycho Pass Mandatory Happiness. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified when a new video comes out, and have a great night.